about this because she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point, and also like she's good at basketball.
Caitlin Clark's historic honor as Times Athlete of the Year has ignited debate among WNBA players, questioning if her rise stems solely from skill or unspoken privileges. However, her growing spotlight could elevate the league, drawing wider attention and boosting its visibility in ways that benefit all players.
I feel like we're just scratching the surface. Like, everybody asks me like where I think this is gonna go and what it's gonna be, and like I don't really have an answer, because if you would have told people this is where the WNBA is, 5 years ago, you would have said this is where we're going to be now. People probably wouldn't have believed you, because they never thought that was possible. They never thought people would buy tickets. They never thought we'd play on ABC. Never thought we'd be on ESPN. They never thought it'd be sold out arenas, or little kids wanted to wear WNBA jerseys, whatever it was. So I think it's hard to say where it's going to continue to grow. I think the smartest thing would be to get in now, because the price is only going up.
Caitlin Clark, celebrated for her exceptional talent and electrifying performances, has risen to sports stardom as Times Athlete of the Year. While her skills earned widespread acclaim, her candid acknowledgement of privilege brings depth to her journey, sparking important conversations about recognition and opportunity in sports.
Caitlin Clark has been named Time Athlete of the Year, which you can see right here. This is the cover of the Time magazine for her after she took the WNBA by storm, had a phenomenal rookie season. The league, for the first time ever, is relevant. She was selling out NBA arenas across the country. I know, I went to one of the games.
Though her on-court dominance is enough to secure her legacy, Caitlin Clark's willingness to address systemic forces reveals a rare self-awareness. By openly discussing privilege's role in her career, she distinguishes herself from peers, showcasing a depth that extends beyond her remarkable athletic achievements.
People saying because she was white and it was pretty privileged, and I was like,
no, that was Sonny Hostin of The View.
In a world that often credits success solely to talent and effort, Caitlin Clark's honesty stands out. She openly recognizes the resources, visibility, and opportunities she's enjoyed, particularly as a white woman in a sport where racial inequities frequently shape the narrative, sparking vital conversations about privilege in athletics.
So I know a lot of you are real tired of us talking about race, but guess what? We about to talk about race.
Caitlin Clark's talent is undeniable, and her accolades are well earned. But her acknowledgement of the broader context surrounding her success is both rare and impactful. Still, some argue her humility was unnecessary, as her on-court brilliance alone is enough to define her legacy and silence any critics.
Don't be mad, but Caitlin Clark was named the 2024 Time Magazine Athlete of the Year. Not A'ja Wilson, who had the greatest individual season in WNBA history. It wasn't golf's Nelly Carter, who has 7 wins on the season, including her second career Major Cup title at the Chevron Championship. Not even the young tennis star Emma Raducanu. Nope, it was Caitlin freaking Clark, who did this in her rookie year in the WNBA. She did this in her rookie year in the WNBA. But yet the WNBA...
The debate surrounding Caitlin Clark's rise highlights a broader question. What defines true greatness in an athlete? Is it purely their performance, or does it also encompass their cultural impact? Clark's influence extends beyond her undeniable on-court achievements, which have elevated women's basketball and inspired countless fans and young players. Off the court, her willingness to confront challenging issues like privilege, inequity, and representation adds a profound dimension to her legacy. By speaking out, Clark isn't just excelling as an athlete. She's establishing herself as a thought leader, driving meaningful conversations, and setting a powerful example in the sports world.
I feel like it's like everybody's always watching your every move, no matter what you're doing. And I feel like the best thing that I've tried to live by is like to just be the same person that I am off the court, whether I'm, leaving my apartment every single day or whether I'm here sitting in front of all of you. I've tried to approach it in the same exact manner that I can. And
Caitlin Clark's willingness to embrace complex conversations rather than avoid them speaks volumes about her character. As a young athlete, she could have relied solely on her extraordinary talent to shape her image. Instead, she's chosen to engage with challenging topics, even when uncomfortable. This approach not only elevates her as a player, but cements her as a leader in women's sports, one who challenges the status quo and continues to redefine what's possible both on and off the court.
The WNBA players, we know how they treated her. We watched how they treated her, and it was terrible. My advice to Caitlin Clark is no amount of virtue signaling in the world is going to stop those athletes from kicking the crap out of you. You're white and you're straight, and nothing you can do will change that, and they will hate you for it, even if you drop crap like this out of your mouth every day for the next 3 years or the next 20 years. Why? Because it's never going to be enough.
Caitlin Clark's recognition as Time Athlete of the Year ignited widespread discussion and criticism from WNBA stars like Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson, highlighting deeper issues of recognition and equity in sports. As the Iowa Hawkeyes standout, Clark mesmerized fans with her remarkable performances in the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament, showcasing unmatched scoring, fiery competitiveness, and undeniable charisma. Her rise has brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball, sparking nationwide conversations about the sport's growth. Yet, for veteran WNBA players who have long driven the league's success, Clark's rapid ascent and accolades underscore an ongoing disparity in how attention and recognition are allocated within women's basketball, prompting important conversations about equity and visibility.
Caitlin Clark, she will have a long, illustrious, decorated career where she inspires millions and millions of girls and young women to play a sport that she loves. And the thing that I do like about her, she is a whiner and she is a flopper, is that she wants everyone to play well. And she wants to inspire girls and young women to be awesome basketball players, because that's what every sport needs.
Angel Reese, who rose to prominence during LSU's championship run, has openly criticized the double standards in women's sports. Earlier this year, Reese faced intense scrutiny and polarized reactions for her outspoken demeanor and unapologetic celebrations. In contrast, Caitlin Clark's similar fiery passion and confidence on the court were widely praised as competitive spirit. This stark disparity has prompted Reese and others to question the role of race, media biases, and societal narratives in determining who is celebrated as a superstar in women's sports, highlighting deeper inequities that continue to influence recognition and representation within the industry.
Well, it was definitely what happened last year between Caitlin Clark and, Angel Reese. It was, talked about, and would have liked to seen that rematch in time. But Caitlin Clark is a special player. She reminds me of a Steph Curry. A lot of times she takes those ill-advised shots that me and Chuck don't like, but they go in. Not only do they go in consistently.
A'ja Wilson, a two-time MVP and one of the WNBA's most dominant players, has voiced her frustration with the uneven attention in women's basketball. Beyond her on-court excellence, Wilson has been instrumental in advancing the game, using her platform to advocate for better pay, visibility, and respect for women's sports. Yet, despite her significant contributions, Wilson and her peers have rarely received the mainstream recognition that Caitlin Clark has garnered in just 1 year. This disparity raises critical questions about why seasoned WNBA players who have consistently delivered excellence remain underappreciated. The contrast becomes even more striking when considering the foundation laid by athletes like Wilson and Angel Reese to elevate the profile of women's basketball.
Champion, Finals MVP, WNBA MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. I guess this is supposed to show her personality. I guess her on time, and then another bestseller on time. Here's the other thing that came up. So it said K Martin outselling lead MVP A'ja Wilson in merch sales is insane. If you're looking at the merch sales, the top selling person is no surprise Caitlin Clark. Behind her, Angel Reese, then Sabrina, and then Kate Martin.
The performances, leadership, and advocacy of players like A'ja Wilson and Angel Reese have not only elevated the WNBA, but also attracted a new wave of fans, leading to a record-breaking season for viewership and engagement. For instance, this year's WNBA Finals shattered previous audience records, highlighting a league that's finally beginning to see the fruits of decades of hard work. Yet, the recognition often seems to favor newer, college-level athletes like Caitlin Clark, whose narrative fits more comfortably within traditional media's preferences. While Clark's talent and impact are beyond question, the overwhelming accolades she's received spark uncomfortable questions about who truly benefits from the spotlight in sports. As women's basketball continues to thrive, the hope is that recognition will broaden to honor the contributions of all its stars, past, present, and future, equally.
Growth of the W to, and getting those type of ratings and on practice facilities and all these things moving forward. What would you attribute that growth to?
I mean, I honestly think it kind of picked up in the collegiate side of it. I think a lot of people started paying eyes on that when everything went down between Angel and Caitlin. And I think it kind of then allowed people to kind of open up this mindset of, let's kind of watch it at this level. And I think they're also...
The center of this debate is Sheryl Swoopes, a pioneering figure in the WNBA and a key architect of women's basketball. However, when presented with the chance to comment on Caitlin Clark's acknowledgement of privilege and the glaring omissions in the conversation, Swoopes chose silence. Her restraint speaks volumes in a complex discussion about race, recognition, and respect.
Seriously, we're actually having this conversation. Says how much the league has grown and how excited people are about it. And then when you have players like a Caitlin, a Angel, even a Kate Martin, a Rakia Jackson, the new class that came in, I felt like they really took it to a different level. They brought in new eyes. They brought in people who've never watched the W before.
When Caitlin Clark accepted her Time Athlete of the Year accolade, she acknowledged the privilege that contributed to her rapid rise. She referenced other players who have made significant impacts on the WNBA, seemingly striving to highlight a sense of collective growth. However, her narrative missed a key figure in the league's history, Sheryl Swoopes. This omission wasn't simply a forgotten name. It was a missed chance to honor a player who revolutionized the game, paved the way for future generations, and played a central role in the league's most transformative moments. The core issue lies in how history is shaped and who controls the narrative. Caitlin Clark is undeniably an extraordinary talent, hailed as a groundbreaking force in women's basketball. Her ability to captivate audiences, dominate on the court, and elevate the sport's visibility is laudable. However, in acknowledging her contributions, it is crucial not to overshadow the legacies of those who laid the foundation for the success and recognition women's basketball enjoys today.
Shout out to Caitlin Clark. She's a certified bucket. To quote Shaq, I was not familiar with her game. I respect her game. She's a fucking baller. She was pulling up like Steph Curry from deep. But I just got one question. Matt, do you think you can beat Caitlin Clark in one-on-one?
Absolutely not. Nobody here can.
I'm busting her ass. You wild. Shit. You wild, bro.
The numbers speak for themselves. Caitlin Clark's influence on viewership has been monumental, with her remarkable performances in the NCAA tournament last year captivating millions. The championship game between Iowa and LSU became the most watched women's basketball game ever.
You got 2.3 million viewers on a 12 noon game on Father's Day. So what was fathers doing? Fathers were watching a women's basketball game at 12 noon while they were being served eggs and bacon and breakfast in bed.
Caitlin Clark's journey has been bolstered by factors beyond her undeniable talent. Her role in a dominant basketball program, her media-friendly persona, and perhaps her whiteness in a sport where Black athletes have long faced challenges in gaining equal recognition. For many WNBA players, the issue isn't discrediting Clark's achievements, but recognizing the broader systemic factors at play. They view Clark as benefiting from a system that has historically marginalized women's basketball, often sidelining the contributions of those who laid the foundation for the sport's growth and visibility.
Is there anybody in the NBA under the age of 30 that's a bigger name, bigger jaw, bigger star than Caitlin Clark?
Caitlin Clark has often steered clear of controversies, keeping the focus on her game and her team. Yet, the ongoing debate surrounding her rise highlights a larger issue: the need for women's basketball to receive the respect it's long overdue. WNBA players raising their concerns aren't simply seeking recognition, they're advocating for equity. They want their contributions to the game, their struggles for representation, and their pivotal roles in paving the way for stars like Clark to be celebrated with equal enthusiasm. As Clark's star continues to shine, it opens the door for a more nuanced conversation about how women's sports are covered, consumed, and celebrated. Her ability to draw massive audiences is a boon for the game, but it should also serve as a reminder that this level of attention was made possible by those who came before her. The hope is that Clark's success won't overshadow their legacies, but will instead amplify their voices, creating a future where all women athletes receive the recognition they deserve. Beyond her incredible talent on the court, Caitlin Clark has become a phenomenon that's changed the face of women's basketball in profound ways. Following an extraordinary collegiate career and a historic WNBA debut, she has become the centerpiece of what's being called the Caitlin Clark effect. Her major honors and contributions to the WNBA's growth have taken the league to new heights, establishing it as one of the fastest-growing sports industries. Her influence extends beyond just her on-court feats. Clark's electrifying performances, clutch shooting, and undeniable charisma have brought unprecedented visibility to women's basketball. This surge in attention has led to increased sponsorships and investments in the league, proving how one player can transform the landscape of an entire sport.
At the start of this year's WNBA season, it was announced that Caitlin Clark signed a massive endorsement deal with Nike. This deal was for 8 years, $28 million with a signature sneaker included. Now, at the time, a lot of us were so excited about this. Nike is obviously the biggest brand in athletic apparel, and Caitlin seemed to be a perfect fit for the brand. $28 million at the time, while some people, including myself, were saying that this might be a little bit too low because of the superstar that she is, it seemed to be like a fantastic deal. Now, since she has signed this contract, you guys, and her WNBA season has come and gone. And with that, Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen it.
Critics, including prominent WNBA players, have raised concerns about whether Caitlin Clark's rapid rise and widespread acclaim are shaped by systemic privileges. While her talent is undeniable, they argue that her reception highlights broader disparities in how athletes are marketed and celebrated. This debate has become a flashpoint in the ongoing conversation about equality in sports.
I wanted to hold my judgment on this, but at this point, the WNBA is getting downright embarrassing. You're not going to gaslight me into thinking that the media is the one who created this narrative that a lot of players don't like Caitlin Clark. At this point, it is clear as day. We've seen so many examples of hard fouls, dirty plays, and teams celebrating when she gets chucked to the floor. Most of the new eyeballs that are on the WNBA right now are there because of Caitlin Clark. We really think that, God forbid, she gets...
Regardless of the debates surrounding her rise, the undeniable truth is that Caitlin Clark's impact is both measurable and transformative. Her popularity has made the WNBA a cultural touchstone, a rare accomplishment for any player in any league. The Caitlin Clark effect is more than a buzzword. It's a movement that has revitalized the sport and set it on a new trajectory. Whether loved or criticized, her influence is undeniable, sparking profound changes in women's basketball. Clark continues to impress both on the court and off it, cementing her status as a catalyst for change. She represents what's possible in an era where women's sports are gaining the prominence they deserve, and her journey is just beginning. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.